Hi students, you're watching MCQs for coordinate geometry, which is continued from part 2. Here is the 11th question. The coordinates of the point on x-axis, which is equidistant from the points minus 3, 4 and 2, 5 are. So here main points you have to note is the point is on x-axis and that is equidistant from two given points. So how we can consider over here, since the point is on x-axis, we'll get the value of x but y will be 0. So we can keep it as x comma 0. So let us see how we can consider the points. So here I have taken the points. Observe here that point A minus 3, 4 and point B is 2, 5 as well as point P which is on x-axis. So I am considering x, 0. So how we can solve this problem? We can go with the distances because they have said that they are equidistant, right? The points are equidistant from the point on x-axis. Therefore, we can write that AP is equal to PB. AP, that is distance AP, which is equal to distance PB. That also implies that the squares of the distances are equal. Fine. Squares of the distances are equal. So what we have to do here? We have to apply the distance formula to find the distances AP and PB. By equating them, we can find the value of x, y. But here we already have we already have y as 0. So we just need to find the value of x. Okay. What is the distance formula? We already know the distance formula. Here I am considering d square itself because as I said you, AP square that is equal to PB square. When the distances are same, the squares of them also will be the same. Therefore, we can just go with x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square to find both the distances. Okay. So let us just proceed with it. What is x2 here? What is x2 and x1? X2 is, first we have to consider the AP. So here x2 is x and x1 is minus 3. So x minus of minus 3, that becomes plus 3, x plus 3 whole square plus y2 minus y1. y2 is 0 over here and y1 is 4. That is 0 minus 4 whole square, which is equal to, as I said, we have to equate it to the distance PB. So when we consider PB, we are going to consider x1, y1 as 2, 5 and x2, y2 as x, 0. So here it becomes x minus 2 whole square plus 0 minus 5 whole square. So when we simplify this, what we will get? X plus 3 whole square. So you can use here a plus b whole square identity. Okay, so this becomes x square plus 2ab. So here a is x and b is 3. Therefore, it becomes 3 into 2 into x. So it is 6x plus 3 square, that is 9. Be careful, don't write 3 square as 6, that becomes wrong. Plus minus 4 whole square, that is nothing but plus 16, because minus into minus becomes plus, which is equal to x minus 2 whole square. So here you can use a minus b whole square identity, that is a square minus 2ab. So it becomes minus 4x, 2 into x minus 4x plus 2 square, that becomes 4, plus here minus 5 whole square, that becomes 5 into 5, 25. Okay. So when we simplify this one, what we will get? We'll get x square plus 6x plus 25, which is equal to x square. Here we have minus 4x. So it is minus 4x and 25 plus 4, that becomes plus 29. Okay. So when we simplify this, what happens? observe here that we have x square on both the sides. Therefore, we can cancel because they have the same sign. So when we move it to the other side, it becomes negative and we can cancel that. Okay. Now, let us go with the like terms here, that is 6x and minus 4x, as well as we have 25 and 29. Okay. So this becomes what? 6x minus 4x, when you bring it to the other side, it becomes plus 4x, as well as we have 29, and this 25, when you bring it to the RHS, it becomes minus 25, correct? Therefore, what happens here? 6 plus 4 is 10, so it is 10x is equal to 29 minus 25, that is 4. So this implies x is equal to 4 by 10, or x is equal to 2 by 5. Already we know that y value is 0 over here. Therefore, the point becomes what? We got x value 2 by 5 and y value is 0. Therefore, what's the correct answer here? Correct answer is option C, 2 by 5 comma 0. So, we'll move on to the 12th question. So, the ratio in which the x-axis divides the line segment joining 3, 6 and 12, minus 3 is. So here what we have to find? We have to find the ratio. What is ratio? Usually we'll take it as m1 is to m2, or we can also write it as m1 by m2, okay, which divides the x-axis. Okay, as I already told you, when it comes to x-axis, when it is divided by x-axis, or point is on the x-axis, so what happens to the point? It becomes x comma 0. Okay, so the point which divides the line segment becomes the point P, x comma 0, the line segment joining these 2 points. So how we can consider this one? How we can go with this one? We have to use the section formula here, because we know the point. Okay, so here this point to be considered as x comma 0, as well as we know the values of x1 y1 x2 y2, correct? So we can use this section formula here, that is m1 x2 plus m2 x1 divided by m2 plus m1, as well as m1 y2 plus m2 y1 divided by m2 plus m1. So here this gives you the x coordinate and this gives you the y coordinate, but here for this particular problem we can equate the y coordinate to 0. Okay, so let us continue. Here, as I already told you, since it is divided by x-axis, we can take px comma y as x comma 0. Okay, so observe here, I have taken x1 y1 and x2 y2. So let us apply the section formula. What we have, I already told you, it is x comma 0. Then let us write the remaining things. Since we don't know m1 and m2, we can keep m1 and m2 as it is in the formula. Okay, so it becomes what? m1 into x2, that is 12, plus m2 into x1, that is m2 into 3 divided by m1 plus m2, the first part, and the second part becomes what? m1 into y2, here y2 is minus 3, plus m2 into y1, that is m2 into 6 divided by m2 plus m1, or m1 plus m2. Okay, so when we simplify, what we'll get here? 12 m1 plus 3 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, comma, minus 3 m1 plus 6 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, and that is equal to x comma 0. So as I already told you, this gives you the x coordinate and this gives you the y coordinate, which is equal to 0 in this part, in this problem. Okay, so how you can proceed? See here, we have the unknown x, right? We have to find the ratio m1 and m2. Since we have unknown x as well as m1 m2, in the x coordinate points, we are not going to consider that one. Let us consider the second part, because here we know y value is 0, right? Let us consider this one to find the value of m1 and m2. How we can do? Minus 3m1 plus 6m2 divided by m1 plus m2, that is equal to 0. This implies that minus 3m1 plus 6m2, that is equal to 0. Why it becomes 0? Because m1 plus m2, when I take it to the other side, here it is divided by, when we take it to the other side, it becomes into. So 0 into anything is 0, correct? So let us simplify the remaining part. What we have here, I'll continue over here. Okay, so this becomes 6m2, that is equal to 3m1. Why? Because here minus 3m1, when it goes to the other side, it becomes plus. Now what we want? We want the ratio m1 and m2, ratio of m1 and m2. So here what we can do is, we can keep the numbers on the one side and the variables to the other side. So here I have m2, here I have m1. So what I will do, I will get this m2 to the other side as well as this 3 to the left hand side. So it becomes what? 6 by 3, because 3 into m1 here. So it becomes 6 by 3, that is equal to m1 already there. From the left hand side, if we take m2 to the other side, it becomes divided by m2. Why it is divided by? Because 6 into m2. Therefore, this implies that m1 by m2, which is equal to 3 ones are 3 twos are. So it is 2 by 1, or m1 is to m2, which is equal to 2 is to 1. Got it? So what's the answer? Answer is option A, 2 is to 1. We'll move on to the 13th question. So here, if the centroid of the triangle is formed by 7, x, y, minus 6 and 9, 10 is 6, 3. So what is 6, 3? It's the centroid of the triangle. Okay. Then the value of x, y. So here we have x and y on the vertex. Two vertices. We have one x, one x and one y. Okay. So here what we have to find the value of x and y. What's the concept? Main concept given, that is centroid of the triangle. So we already discussed about the centroid of the triangle, right? So what is the centroid? Centroid is nothing but it's the point which is the intersection point of all the medians. Yes. So how we can continue? What is the formula here? Formula is centroid x, y, which is equal to x1 plus x2 plus x3. That is x coordinates of all the three vertices divided by 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 divided by 3. That is all the y coordinates of the vertices. Okay. Now let us just apply this formula to the problem. Okay. So what we have to consider here? We have to consider x1, y1, x2, y2 and x3, y3. So here I have taken it directly, which you can apply. Okay. So here see x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 I have given here. Now we have x, y as 6, 3. Okay. Let us just continue. So here 6, 3, that is equal to, observe that the 6, 3 is nothing but x coordinate and y coordinate. Okay. As I told you in the previous problems, when we apply the midpoint formula or when we apply the other formulas, this gives you x and this gives you y, right? It is the same way here also. Fine. 6, 3, that is equal to x1 is 7, 7 plus y plus 9 divided by 3, x plus minus 6 plus 10 divided by 3. So it becomes what? 6, 3, which is equal to 9 plus 7. What is 9 plus 7? 16. So 16 plus y divided by 3, minus 6 plus 10 is plus 4. it becomes x plus 4 divided by 3. As I told you, here this gives me x and this is y. So this is x, this is y. What we have to do now? We have to equate the x coordinate to x coordinate and y to y. Therefore, what happens? 6 is equal to 16 plus y by 3, or we can write it as, just a second, we can write it as 16 plus y divided by 3, that is equal to 6, as well as so here this is 4. We can write x plus 4 divided by 3, that is equal to 3. So when we simplify, what happens? Take 3 to the other side in both the cases. So this becomes what? 16 plus y is equal to 18. 16 plus y is equal to 18. Y is equal to 18 minus 16. So y is 2. Okay. Next here, x plus 4 is equal to 3 3s are 9. Be careful. Don't write 3 into 3 is 6. This is the most done mistake by students. Okay. 3 into 3 they'll write as 6. Don't do that. 3 into 3 is 9. So x is equal to 9 minus 4, that is equal to 5. So here observe that we got y and x. So what is x? X is 5 and y is 2. Therefore, what is the answer? Answer is option D, 5, 2. Correct? We'll move on to the next question. If points A 5, P, B 1, 5, C 2, 1 and D 6, 2 are from the square ABCD, then the point P is. Observe that we have 4 vertices and they have asked one unknown P here. So how we can consider the situation for this one, or how we can continue with this problem? So if you remember, we had learned about the properties of the square, right? So what and all we know the property. So here what I did is I just considered the square A, B, C, D, A, B, C and D. Okay. Now we already know that square will be having the diagonals, correct? And the diagonals will bisect each other. So this point here, okay, this intersection point will be the same for both AC as well as BD. That is, the midpoint of the diagonals are same, isn't it? Therefore, what happens? What we can say, midpoint of this, if we consider this as, for example, O, then this point O, or the coordinates of point O, that is same for AC and BD, correct? So what we can do, we have only one unknown, that is P over here. So what we can do, we can apply midpoint formula to both the diagonals and we can equate them, correct? So what is midpoint formula? Midpoint formula is M is equal to, that is midpoint, or coordinates of midpoint, that is x, y, that is equal to x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. So here what we have to do, since we are applying it 2 times, what I have taken is, observe here, I have taken x1, y1, x2, y2. So that is for the first diagonal, when we consider the first diagonal, and when we consider the second diagonal, it will be again x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay. So here, let us just continue with the problem. What we can write? We can write first one x1 plus x2 by 2. So here x1 is 5. 5 plus 2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. y1 is p over here, p plus 1 by 2. What we can do? We can equate it to the midpoint of the side BD, correct? So let us just continue. Here, what's the midpoint of BD, we can write it as 1 plus 6 divided by 2, comma 5 plus 2 divided by 2. Correct? So what answer we'll get here? We'll get 7 by 2, comma p plus 1 by 2, as well as 7 by 2, comma 7 by 2. So as I told you already, it is x and y coordinates of the midpoint, right? So this is x and this is y. Similarly, this is x and this is y. So where we have the unknown, we have the unknown y and y, unknown p on y. So I can take it as p plus 1 by 2, that is equal to 7 by 2. That is just equating the y coordinates. What we can do? We can cancel 2 from both the sides. So I have, this implies p plus 1 is equal to 7 I have. This implies p is equal to 7 minus 1, that is equal to 6. Okay. Therefore, the answer is C, that is 6. We'll move on to the next question. So here I have a question. P 2, 4. If P 2, 4, Q 0, 3, R 3, 6 and S 5, Y are the vertices of a parallelogram PQRS, then the value of Y is. Okay. So observe that this is the similar kind of problem whatever we had solved earlier. There we had a square and now we have the parallelogram. Okay. So how you can proceed with this problem? It's the same method what we used for the square. Okay. So we have a parallelogram. I have considered P, Q, R and S respectively. Since we have only one unknown, we can use the concept of diagonals bisecting each other. Also, we can apply the midpoint formula. Based on that, we can continue. Okay. So here, observe that midpoint M is same for both the diagonals. So apply the midpoint formula for both the diagonals and find the answer, similar to the previous problem. Okay. So here we have x1, y1, x2, y2, x1, y1, x2, y2 for the diagonal PR as well as for the diagonal QR. I have taken x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, just let us apply it to find the answer. What's the first part? First part is PR, midpoint of PR. So I can write midpoint of PR, that is equal to midpoint of QS. Okay, so when we apply the formula, it becomes 2 plus 3 by 2, comma 4 plus 6 by 2, that is equal to 0 plus 5 by 2, comma y plus 3 by 2. Okay. Now here it becomes 3 plus 2, that is 5. 5 by 2, comma 6 plus 4 is 10. So 10 by 2, which is equal to 5 by 2, comma y plus 3 by 2. So here guys, I'll just keep this one as it is, the 10 by 2 one, because I have 2 divided by 2 on y coordinate, if you observe. So here this is x, this is y, this is x, this is y. Correct? So let us just equate y coordinates, because already we have x here as same. Let us equate y coordinates. That is y plus 3 by 2, that is equal to 10 by 2. So here I can cancel 2 from both the denominators. This implies y plus 3 is equal to 10, and we'll get y value as 7, because when we take plus 3 to the other side, it becomes minus 3. So the y value is 7. Therefore, the value of y is 7. That is option A. Okay. We'll move on to the concepts what and all we had learned. So we have already completed the 15 questions. Let us see what and all concept we come across in today's class. Let us see one by one. So here is the first one, that is distance formula. We already come across the distance formula, that is d is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square in many of the problems, right? So in today's class, what application we have seen? We have seen about the point on x-axis which is equidistant from the given two points A and B, and this is the diagram we can consider. We are considering A and B, as well as we are considering the point P which is on x-axis. Therefore we can consider it as x comma 0, as well as we'll take the points and we then apply the distance formula to find the distance of AP and PB, and we'll equate them as they have said that they are equidistant from each other. Okay. So next, what we learned, as I told you, point on x-axis we can consider P x comma y. Okay. What is next? Next is section formula. Again, the section formula we have come across many times, but what application we have seen in today's class? It is the ratio in which the x-axis divides the line segment joining two given points. Okay, therefore here it is x-axis divides, therefore we have to take the point which divides the line segment as px comma y, that is x comma 0, similar to the previous one, and the formula to be used is section formula, direct application of this point x comma 0 over here, and then substituting the value of x2 x1, y2 y1, and then finding the ratio m1 is to m2. Okay, so what else we had come across in today's class? We had come across the centroid formula, direct application. Centroid, coordinates of centroid is x comma y, and we can find it by adding the x coordinates of all 3 points divided by 3, as well as adding all the y coordinates of points divided by 3. Okay, that's the last part we come across. So we had come across the application of midpoint formula. Where we are going to apply the midpoint formula? We can apply the midpoint formula when we have given with 4 vertices, and if they say it might be from the square or from the rectangle or from the rhombus or from the parallelogram. Okay, parallelogram or rhombus, whatever it is, whatever the shape it is. Okay, out of these 4, if you get any of the shape, and if they ask you to find the one vertex, or if they ask you to find the coordinate of any one vertex, it is very easy by using the midpoint formula, where you will get x comma y, and the midpoint is same for both the diagonals. So you apply midpoint formula to both the diagonals and equate it so that you will get the answer. Okay, so here I have given the color change so that you can understand which points you have to consider when you're calculating the midpoint. So here this and this one, as well as green one later. Similarly here x1 y1 x2 y2, then you have to consider this and this one. So here one thing you have to be careful is they'll be giving the points and they will say respectively. So when you consider, don't consider like A, B, C, D. That goes wrong. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to consider A, B. This is not D. This is C. Respectively. It should be in the order. So this becomes D. Understood? Okay. Fine. So for today, I'm going to end the class. Okay. So keep watching. Keep learning. We'll meet in the next class with the part 4 of the coordinate geometry. Thank you.